Not everything that heals can be seen, and not everything that transforms comes from outside. There are ancient vibrations that travel through time, forgotten frequencies that quietly whisper secrets to the soul, and have been resonating in silence since the very beginning of the universe. Today, we're here to remember them. Solfeggio frequencies aren't just ordinary musical notes or pretty melodies. They're fundamental vibrations, sonic codes that unlock invisible parts of your being. Each frequency is a portal, a vibrational key, an energetic formula connecting with the deep layers of your body, mind, and spirit. For centuries, these frequencies stayed hidden, wrapped up in sacred hymns like the hymn to St. John, and preserved through numerical patterns by sages and alchemists. Today, we recognize them not only as a harmonic sequence, but as tools for cosmic realignment, because they weren't created by musicians, but revealed by wise ones who understood that the universe is made not of matter, but vibration. Now, in this age of spiritual awakening, these 9 frequencies are coming back, not as a trend, but as a real necessity, because we've lost touch with our inner harmony, living in distorted vibrations tuned to the noise of the world instead of the melody of our soul. But it's possible to return, to resonate again with Source, to hear the original song once more. In this video, we'll explore the 9 extended solfeggio frequencies, from the lowest vibrations that ground and heal the physical body to the highest ones that open subtle perception and awaken divine remembrance. Each frequency has its own purpose, gift, and mission, and if you learn how to listen, it can guide you back to yourself. We'll uncover their hidden history, their spiritual structure, and most importantly, how to bring them into your life to heal, activate, and grow. This isn't just a video about sound, it's a call to remember what your soul has always known. You are a symphony waiting to be tuned. The universe sings, and you can sing with it. Because in the beginning, there was no word, only vibration, and that vibration still lives inside you. Long before temples were built and gods named, the universe was already vibrating, in order, in geometry, in sound. Not sound as we know it today, but a pulse, a deep resonance that shaped matter, space, and time. That original sound wasn't lost, just forgotten, and in mystical traditions, it's called the original solfeggio. These frequencies come straight from the heart of ancient mysteries. It's said Egyptian priests tuned their rituals not only with symbols but with tones. Vedic mantras were more than words. They were encoded vibrational transmitters. The Hebrews understood the power of the divine name, the tetragrammaton, not just as a word, but as a sacred frequency. The first clear record of solfeggio frequencies appears in medieval Europe in the 10th century. The Benedictine monk Guido d'Arezzo, trying to teach liturgical chant to choirs, created a scale based on a unique numerical sequence. This was no ordinary scale. Its notes came from a hymn dedicated to St. John the Baptist, where each line started with a different syllable, ut, re, mi, fa, sola, and each syllable matched a specific frequency. What few knew and what was hidden for centuries is that these frequencies weren't random. They followed exact mathematical proportions that resonated deeply with the human body, nature, and soul. Later, these frequencies were removed from Western music and replaced by the standard 440 Hz tuning, a frequency that modern studies ironically link to stress and biological imbalance. The original solfeggio frequencies faded into obscurity until they were rediscovered by researchers of mystical and mathematical traditions. Here we find amazing connections. The mathematician and mystic Leonardo of Pisa, better known as Fibonacci, described a famous numerical sequence that also shows up in these frequencies. And long before him, Pythagoras, the father of sacred geometry, said the universe is number and proportion, and music is the purest way to express these proportions. From a mystical perspective, solfeggio frequencies are coded vibrations, woven into the universe's fabric. Each frequency is like a key, unlocking a different level of consciousness. There are 9 tones, 9 doors, 9 states of being that help us remember our original design. But the most fascinating part isn't just their history, it's what they do. People who listen to or intone these frequencies with intention often notice remarkable changes, clearer dreams, more balanced emotions, unexpected peace, spiritual memories resurfacing, and sometimes even spontaneous healing. Shamanic traditions have always known that drum, flute, and voice aren't just entertainment. They're vibrational medicine for the soul. The ancients understood what we're rediscovering now. When sound is sacred, the body recognizes it and the soul responds. So solfeggio frequencies aren't just history, they're a heritage. They're not curiosities, they're maps. And those who listen consciously don't just hear, they remember. Hearing a solfeggio frequency isn't just about sound. It's about letting sacred geometry and vibration enter your energy field, reorder cellular memories, and open internal doors sealed for centuries. Each frequency is a sonic archetype, a vibrational code that, when met with your awareness, sparks subtle transformation. Our journey begins deep in the body, where matter still rules and slowly rises toward higher planes, closer to spirit. The first 5 keys, 174 Hz, the root of rest. This frequency is the vibration of the physical body in its most basic state. It's called the frequency of relief because it acts like an energetic balm, relaxing tissues, easing tension, and giving deep cellular rest. It's the vibrating earth that supports your temple. Spiritually, it teaches us that healing starts with stillness. And without a solid root, there's no real growth. It's perfect for anyone dealing with insomnia, anxiety, or feeling out of place. In the language of the soul, 174 Hz whispers, "You're safe. You can rest in yourself." 285 Hz, the frequency of regeneration. This is where sound begins to touch invisible structures. 285 Hz works not just on the physical body, but also on its surrounding energy field, called the etheric body. It stimulates cellular regeneration and helps rebuild organs and tissues, while also healing wounds in the aura. This frequency is like a gentle architect. It restores what's been damaged. It's known to support recovery after surgery and help balance trauma-related issues. Beyond the physical, it activates a vibration that reminds your body of its original, perfect form. 396 Hz, liberation from fear and guilt. Now we move into the emotional realm. This frequency unlocks the unconscious and starts to bring up what's been buried under years of repression. Fears, guilt, inherited trauma. It's the first step in emotional release, working on the root chakra to free limiting memories, especially those tied to survival, scarcity, and feeling uprooted. 396 Hz acts like a cleanser, clearing away emotional blockages so vital energy can flow again. Its message is simple: free yourself from your inner prison. 417 Hz, the tone of change and rebirth. Once the old is released, something new can take its place. 417 Hz is the vibration of positive change and spiritual reset. It's perfect for anyone going through transitions, endings, or symbolic rebirths. This frequency clears repetitive negative patterns and opens the energetic field to new beginnings, like fire burning away what's no longer needed. 417 Hz turns chaos into opportunity, helping break karmic cycles and start fresh with a higher, more stable vibration. 528 Hertz, the code of love and transformation. This is the most famous frequency, the frequency of universal love and DNA repair. Called the miracle frequency, it works on the deepest levels of biology and consciousness. It's said that DNA responds directly to this vibration, reorganizing itself into a more coherent pattern. But 528 Hertz is more than physical. It's the vibration of the awakened heart, of unity and unconditional love. Listening to this frequency is like waking up a sacred memory, the memory of your essential self. These first 5 frequencies build a vibrational ladder from the physical to the spiritual, from body to light, each with its own purpose but all connected in a grand design. They are tones of awakening, whispers from the universe that, if you listen with your soul, can transform you. The next 4 gateways. The journey doesn't stop here. There are 4 more, less well-known but equally powerful frequencies that work less on the body or emotions and more on subtler levels: consciousness, intuition, the soul, and its direct connection to the divine. These are cosmic portals that bring us back to our true design. By tuning into them, you don't just heal, you remember. 639 Hertz, the frequency of connection and harmony. After the heart is awakened by 528 Hertz, 639 Hertz seeks resonance beyond itself. It's the vibration of sacred connection with others, the frequency of love that unites and harmonizes relationships, restoring bonds built on truth. This isn't romantic love, but recognition of others as reflections and extensions of yourself. It helps heal broken relationships, attract kindred souls, and restore harmony in groups, families, and communities. Spiritually, it opens the door to deep empathy, active compassion, and conscious service. It's the sound that reminds us we're not isolated islands, but notes in the same cosmic symphony. 741 Hertz, the frequency of inner awakening. At this point, sound starts to affect the mind's structure. 741 Hertz is a deep cleansing frequency that clears negative energy, mental toxins, and subconscious blocks that hold back consciousness. It acts as a clarifier, freeing us from destructive thought patterns, encouraging authentic expression, and strengthening the inner voice. It's especially helpful for anyone feeling lost spiritually, stuck in mental noise, or disconnected from their soul's voice. It's also linked to the thyroid and throat chakra, the centers of conscious expression and speaking your deepest truth. 741 Hertz awakens the gift of clear seeing and speaking. 852 Hertz, the frequency of intuition and vision. This frequency opens the door to higher perception. 852 Hertz works on the third eye chakra, boosting connection with higher wisdom, intuition, and spiritual guidance. People who meditate with it often report clearer intuition, meaningful synchronicities, and vivid, revealing dreams. It helps detach from worldly distractions and return deeply to the soul's center. 852 Hertz invites you to see with the eagle's perspective, rising above duality to observe reality from higher levels. Here, intuition isn't guesswork. It's the ability to see the invisible with full certainty. 963 Hertz, the frequency of divine unity. This is the top of the solfeggio scale. 963 Hertz activates the pineal gland, awakens the third eye, and brings remembrance of the divine self. Called the frequency of God, not because of religion, but because it awakens the feeling of unity with the entire universe. This tone doesn't heal in the usual sense. It awakens and reminds us that we're more than body, mind, or history. We're infinite consciousness having a temporary experience. Vibrating at 963 Hertz opens elevated meditative states, mystical vision, and a space of pure being where separation disappears and only presence remains. It's the frequency of sacred silence, where ego fades and questions disappear because there's no need for answers. Together, these 9 frequencies form a sacred ladder, a sonic map for inner growth. They're not just sounds to listen to, they're energetic initiations. Anyone who journeys through them consciously won't come back the same, because it's not about the sounds you hear, but the parts of yourself they help you access. Solfeggio frequencies aren't just for listening, they're for living. You can't just play them in the background. They require presence, intention, and openness to break through the mental walls built over time. They're subtle but powerful medicine. To make sure these frequencies really work as spiritual catalysts, preparing your inner space is key. Here are some practical yet deeply meaningful tips to bring solfeggio frequencies into your daily life. 1. Listen consciously, not just passively. Don't just play these frequencies as background noise while you're working or scrolling your phone. At least once a day, set aside a sacred moment for active listening. Close your eyes, sit up straight, breathe deeply, and let the sound wash over you. Don't analyze or judge it. Just notice how it affects you. Imagine each tone as liquid light entering through your skin, flowing through your organs, and gently touching your energy field. Listen with your body. Listen with your soul. 2. Choose the frequencies you actually need, not what's popular. Each frequency has a specific role. None are a one-size-fits-all. Ask yourself, do I need to release stuck emotions, heal my body, expand my intuition, or connect with something greater? Pick the frequency that matches your need. For example, if you're grieving, 396 Hz can help release pain. If you feel spiritually lost, 852 or 963 Hz may guide you back. Choosing the right frequency is like picking the right medicine. Timing and intention matter. 3. Use visualization alongside listening. Frequencies work on their own, but their power grows when combined with guided imagination. As you listen, picture what you want to unlock, heal, or activate. If you're working with 528 Hz, imagine your heart opening like a glowing flower, radiating love and acceptance. Your mind is a creative tool. What you imagine while listening turns into vibration, and that vibration becomes your reality. 4. Make sound part of your rituals. Whether you meditate, take moon baths, journal, practice yoga, or enjoy quiet moments, use these frequencies as a sacred soundtrack. They create an atmosphere that supports reflection, healing, and awakening. You might start your day with 417 Hz to invite positive change, or end your night with 174 Hz to calm your nervous system and encourage peaceful dreams. 5. Use your voice as a channel. Remember, you don't just listen to these frequencies, you can also sing or chant them. Even if you're not a trained singer, your body vibrates when you make sound. Chant long vowels like ah, a, o while listening. Feel your chest, throat, and head become resonant chambers. Sound from within multiplies the effect. The spoken word isn't just creative, it's healing. 6. Don't focus on immediate results. Watch for subtle changes. This is a gentle, subtle path. Sometimes you'll feel instant effects. Relaxation, tears, peace. Other times the changes are quiet at first. You might start making better choices, dream more clearly, or respond with less emotional reactivity. Don't expect miracles. Pay attention to how your soul moves. That's the true sign these frequencies are working. Living in frequency means living aligned with your true self, choosing to vibrate above fear, chaos, and the noise of the world, practicing sound medicine and mastering silence. When you make tuning yourself a daily practice, you become the instrument through which consciousness plays its highest melody. Everything is vibration. That's what the ancients taught, what mystics intuited, and what quantum science confirms. Nothing is still. Everything resonates, and you, just like the stars and oceans, are a symphony in motion. Solfeggio frequencies aren't a trend or curiosity. They're pieces of creation's original language, acoustic codes that touch your soul, reminding you who you are, where you come from, and where you're meant to return. We've explored 9 frequencies, each a step on the ladder of awakening, from those that restore your physical body to those that open spiritual vision and divine connection. 9 portals, 9 keys, 9 chances to resonate with your essential self. Now that you know them, the real question isn't whether they work, but will you let them work through you? Using these frequencies takes more than just playing a track. It calls for an inner surrender to the sacred order you've forgotten. It means letting these vibrations dismantle the walls your ego built to protect you, but also held you back. It means listening with your soul, not just your ears, and living in harmony with the inner melody that makes you unique but connected, human but unlimited, infinitely expansive. When you listen to solfeggio frequencies with an open heart, you don't just heal symptoms. You reorganize your whole energy field, not to gain power, but to remember the power you've always had. Because when you vibrate in frequency, you don't just influence reality, you create it consciously. If you choose this path, it doesn't stop here. Every day, every feeling, every choice becomes a chance to vibrate more harmoniously. And as you vibrate differently, the world around you shifts too. I invite you not to stay in awe, but to transform your surroundings into a temple of resonance. Tune your mind, make your words acts of conscious vibration, and turn your presence into a living frequency. Because in the end, the real question isn't what sound you hear, but what vibration you live by. Thank you for journeying through this invisible map of the soul. With this video, if these words resonate with you, share them, subscribe, raise your voice, and above all, listen not just with your ears, but with your whole being. When the soul remembers its sound, silence becomes sacred. Have you ever found yourself thinking about someone, only for them to message you moments later or appear right in front of you? Or have you opened a book randomly and found exactly the words you needed to read? Maybe you've experienced a series of coincidences that felt too perfect to be a mere accident. If so, there's something important you should know. You weren't imagining things. There's an invisible web connecting thoughts, events, people, and energies in the universe. A kind of secret language that isn't written in words, but in symbols, repetitions, unexpected encounters, and small signs. This is what we call synchrony. But synchrony isn't random or accidental. It's the visible expression of a deeper spiritual truth. Everything that happens in the physical world has its roots in the invisible realm. When two seemingly unrelated events come together with deep meaning, that's when your soul and the universe are in perfect harmony. This video isn't just about coincidences. It's about revealing the true nature of reality. We will explore why what you're searching for is also looking for you, how synchronies serve as messages from your soul, and how you can learn to tune into the hidden code that shapes your life. The universe might be speaking to us through numbers, chance encounters, strange patterns, or even dreams that come true. If every synchrony is like a cosmic wink, a small, subtle reminder that you're on the right path, or that it's time for a change, then on this journey, you'll learn to see what true synchrony looks like from a deeper perspective. You'll discover how ancient traditions understood this, how to tell real synchronies apart from simple coincidences, and how the unconscious, your soul, and the universe work together to guide you. Why does your reality seem to shift when you start paying attention to these signs? Synchrony is like a whisper between worlds, a glimpse into the physical world that reminds you that nothing is separate, everything is connected, and you are part of something much bigger than you realize. Get ready to open the eyes of your soul, connect with the mystery, and start reading the hidden map of your destiny. You're not here by chance. You're here because what you've been seeking has always been seeking you. The idea that life's events aren't random but are part of an invisible network of meaning isn't new. Long before modern psychology identified synchrony, ancient wisdom spoke of a hidden order connecting everything. In ancient Greece, fate wasn't seen as a series of random events. Philosophers and poets talked about the Moirai, three goddesses who wove the threads of each person's life. Interestingly, this tapestry wasn't linear or mechanical. It was a cosmic dance where your choices, thoughts, and soul's desires shaped the flow of time. In other words, destiny wasn't fixed or accidental, but was co-created by the individual and the universe. This idea appears in Eastern philosophies too. In Hinduism, karma isn't just a cause and effect cycle. It's a web of actions, thoughts, and emotions that shapes what you experience, when you experience it, and how. In this framework, synchronies are seen as signs that your soul is in alignment with its true path. The universe responds with perfect reflections. Taoists talk about the Tao, the harmonious flow of life, which, when followed, leads to effortless events. Chance meetings, exact answers, and miraculous occurrences, all because you've aligned with the hidden flow of the cosmos. Even in Hermetic philosophy, a mystical tradition popular during the Renaissance, this principle is acknowledged. The famous saying, "As above, so below," speaks of a mirror between realms. What happens in the physical world reflects what happens in the subtle realm. So what seems random is really an echo of earlier energy movements. Synchrony is the visible sign of an invisible alignment between your soul and the universe's flow. It wasn't until the 20th century that Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist, coined the term synchronicity after observing how seemingly unrelated events would align perfectly with a person's emotions, dreams, or instincts. Jung saw these meaningful coincidences as expressions of the collective unconscious, a vast matrix connecting all human beings on a deep spiritual level. What's fascinating is that Jung didn't just view synchrony as psychological. It was a form of communication between the soul and the universe, a bridge between the inner and outer worlds, where time no longer moves in a straight line and meaning is revealed in sudden flashes. Today, as our awareness grows, we're beginning to understand this ancient idea in new ways. We see that life is not just a series of mechanical events, but a cosmic symphony responding to the vibrations of our consciousness. Synchrony is simply the universe's way of guiding us with symbols, reflections, and encounters that only an awakened heart can interpret. That's why, in every repeating number, every phrase that keeps showing up, and every strange coincidence, there's a voice saying, "Keep going. This is for you. You're not alone." In the next section, we'll dive deeper into how this invisible dance works. How does synchrony manifest? Why does it happen? And how does your inner frequency play a role in attracting these everyday miracles that change your reality? Picture the universe as a vast, living web of pure energy. Every thought, feeling, or intention you send out, consciously or unconsciously, creates a vibration that travels through this web. That vibration doesn't just disappear, it moves through space and time, looking for a resonance, and somewhere along the way, it echoes back to you. That echo could show up as a person arriving at the perfect moment, a message that aligns with your inner conflict, or an event that falls into place without explanation. That's synchrony in action. But how does this seemingly magical process work? First, we need to realize that reality isn't a standalone machine. It's an energetic web. Everything vibrates, everything sends out frequencies, and you're not just a passive observer. You're an active part of this vibrational field, constantly sending and receiving energy. When you think clearly, feel deeply, and wish with sincerity, you create a strong, clear energy, a signal sent out to the universe. And the universe, far from being passive, responds with a sign, a meaningful coincidence, a connection that breaks the ordinary. This principle works because your inner state creates an external pull, not by attracting things based on your thoughts, but by drawing in what aligns with who you truly are at your core. If you radiate fear, you'll attract insecurity. If you radiate peace, compassion, or love, the universe will respond with that same energy. Synchrony is the connection between your inner state and the outer world. It's not random, it's resonance. It's not magic, it's alignment. For example, let's say you've been feeling uncertain about a big life decision but don't know where to begin. One afternoon, out of nowhere, you feel drawn to walk into a bookstore. While browsing, a book falls right in front of you. You open it, and on the first page, you find the exact idea you need to make your decision. Was that just a coincidence? Maybe on the surface, but on a deeper level, that was an energetic response to your inner state. You asked a question, and life gave you an answer. It wasn't the book itself, it was your frequency, your soul reaching out, and the universe responding. This kind of synchronicity often happens when you are deeply connected to yourself, especially during moments of personal transformation. It tends to appear during crises, big changes, spiritual awakenings, or important decisions. Why? Because in those moments your energy is stronger, more authentic, and more open, and the universe always responds to your inner truth. But here's the key point. Synchrony doesn't control your fate. It reveals it. It shows you paths, but it doesn't force you to take them. It sends signals, but you decide whether to pay attention to them or not. It's guidance, not a demand. To make synchrony work for you, you need to practice conscious attention. Without attention, synchrony goes unnoticed. Without openness, it fades into the background. But when you're present, in tune with your emotions, and listening to your intuition, the universe reflects not just what you do, but what you're ready to see. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into the mysteries and contradictions of synchrony, because not every signal is as it seems, and sometimes the oddest coincidence holds the deepest meaning. Exploring synchrony is stepping into a space where logic fades and symbols take on new significance. It's easy to be amazed by the idea that the universe sends us secret messages, but it's also easy to be misled. Not everything that looks like synchrony really is. Telling the difference between a true sign and an illusion created by the ego is one of the biggest challenges on the spiritual path. Synchrony, by definition, is a coincidence full of meaning, not causality, and that meaning can't be measured scientifically or proven with statistics. It can only be felt as a deep resonance within you. But recognizing this meaning takes spiritual maturity. Without it, what we think is synchrony may actually be just a game of desires, fears, or unconscious patterns. Here's the paradox. The more you search for signs out of desperation, the less genuine they become. The ego is clever. It learns the language of symbols quickly. Repeating numbers, familiar names, dreams, or chance meetings all trigger in us a sense of mystery and destiny. But the ego can also confuse obsession with intuition, fear with prophecy, and anxiety with certainty. So how do you navigate this? The answer lies in how the events make you feel inside. True synchrony doesn't bring anxiety, it brings clarity. It doesn't push you to act urgently. It feels like a gentle breeze that clears the air. It doesn't demand action. It invites you to see beyond the surface. At a deeper level, some synchronies are not just guidance, but tests. The universe doesn't always play the role of a helpful guide. It can sometimes be an honest mirror. A person may show up at just the right time, pulling you into an old emotional pattern, and it may feel like destiny. But what happens is that old conflicts resurface, wounds reopen, and you realize the universe was actually showing you what you still need to heal. This type of synchrony isn't false, it's brutally honest. It reminds you of an uncomfortable truth. Synchrony doesn't always lead you to the path you want, but it can lead you to the path you need to face. That's when spiritual awareness becomes crucial. You need to not only notice the sign, but understand its message by tuning into your body, heart, and energy. Does the event expand you or shrink you? Does it bring peace or stress? Does it resonate with your soul or feed your sense of lack? These questions don't have automatic answers. They require stillness, reflection, and silence. Because synchrony isn't a mathematical equation, it's a dance between your consciousness and the universe's response. And in that dance, you need to listen to the rhythm, not rush or try to control it. One of the key lessons of synchrony is spiritual humility. The humility to accept that not every sign is meant for you. The humility to know that you may not understand a sign until much later. The humility to realize that true power isn't in seeing more signs, but in understanding the ones you already have. And finally, the ultimate paradox. You can't chase synchrony, it can only be recognized. The moment you try to force it, it slips away. But when you let go of control, it reveals itself. Synchrony doesn't respond to desire, it thrives in surrender. When you stop demanding answers and begin living from your true center, the right events, people, and signs will show up at just the right time, as though the universe was waiting for you to be ready. In the next section, we'll talk about how to open up to this spiritual flow without falling into superstition, and how to make synchrony your daily ally, not as a magic fortune teller, but as the quiet guide of your soul. Understanding synchrony is just the first step. You need to live it, feel it, and make it a part of your daily life so you can see the world in a deeper way. Synchrony isn't some rare exception. It's the natural state of a conscious universe. But most people aren't in tune with that reality. In this section, we'll explore how you can begin to tap into life's synchronistic flow, not through superstition, but through a clear, awakened awareness. The first and most important step is paying attention. Synchrony isn't the universe suddenly speaking to you. It's you finally listening. To do this, you have to step away from autopilot mode, release the urgency in your mind, and stop trying to control everything. Synchrony lives in the present moment. Only when you are fully present with all your senses and your awakened soul will you start to see the invisible threads connecting you to everything around you. Start by practicing symbolic observation. The universe communicates through symbols, not explanations. Begin noticing what you usually overlook, what words repeat in your conversations, what numbers show up again and again, what songs play at the right moment, which names, animals, or colors seem to appear at key times. Not everything is a sign, but start recognizing the patterns. Keep a synchrony journal. Write down what happens, how you feel, and what you were thinking. Over time, you'll see that these aren't just coincidences, they're messages. Next, tune into your inner frequency. Synchrony responds to your vibe. When your inner world is chaotic, you attract confusion. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions align, the universe aligns with you. To raise your frequency, practice things like meditation, connecting with nature, surrounding yourself with beauty and quiet, and being thankful every day. These practices clear your energy and make you more open to subtle signals. Third, don't chase after signs. Live with purpose. Synchrony isn't a tool for predicting the future. It's a guide that helps you stay grounded in the present. The more you search for signs, the more you push them away and lose the flow. When you live with clear intention, acting from the heart rather than from need, The universe mirrors that back to you. Ask yourself every day, am I walking with purpose, or am I waiting for something outside of me to give me purpose? Synchrony doesn't replace your will, it empowers it. Fourth, trust your intuition, not your assumptions. Intuition is the soul's quiet voice. Assumptions are the ego's loud echo. Learn to tell the difference. Intuition feels like calm certainty, while assumptions need constant explanation and feel more like anxiety disguised as a message. If a synchrony makes you feel anxious or pushes you to act impulsively, it might not be synchrony at all, but a projection of your desires or fears. Fifth, give thanks before you understand. Not every message comes with a clear explanation right away. Some synchronies only make sense over time. Instead of overthinking and trying to interpret everything, practice gratitude. Gratitude refines the soul, and a refined soul can understand what's still unspoken. Living in synchrony isn't about waiting for miracles to happen. It's about realizing that life itself is a miracle when seen with awakened eyes. You don't need signs to know you're being guided, but if you live with coherence and openness, the signs will come. What you used to think of as mere coincidences will transform into a language where your soul is always in conversation with the universe. By now, synchrony isn't just an interesting idea or a random phenomenon. It's revealed itself as the secret language the universe uses to communicate with your consciousness. No longer are these just coincidences. They're meaningful messages that appear when your soul is ready to receive them. Synchrony isn't something external trying to convince you of anything mystical. It's an internal reflection of who you are and where you're vibrating. It doesn't happen to show you some mystical truth. It happens because, at the deepest level, you've called for a response. And it comes softly, in symbols, not in a loud, dramatic way. It's like a quiet whisper in the folds of time, the soul speaking to itself through the world. In today's world, many people are looking for certainty, signs, and validation from the outside. Amid all this noise, synchrony is a subtle compass, pointing not outward but inward to your center. The true spiritual journey isn't about seeking things outside of you. It's about listening to what's within. Once you understand this, you won't walk through life expecting miracles. You'll realize that simply walking through life is the miracle. Living with attention, openness, and clear intention makes you a conscious co-creator of your own reality. And that's the greatest gift this knowledge can give you. The understanding that you're not lost, isolated, or forgotten, and that what you've been seeking has already found you. Every sincere thought, every real emotion, every action born from the soul creates a resonance in the universe's web. Coincidences turn into certainty. What seemed disconnected reveals its pattern, and what you thought was chance becomes destiny in motion. This is your invitation to live in the present, to stop ignoring the signs, to trust your intuition as the bridge between your awareness and the mystery, and to create a life where synchrony is the norm, not the exception. When you align with your deepest truth, the universe doesn't just guide you, it wakes you up. And in that awakening, you'll see that every number, every phrase, every person that shows up at the perfect moment is there not by chance, but because you've called them through your vibration, your seeking, and your growth. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the hidden truths life has to offer to those who are ready to listen. Like this video if you feel something has awakened inside you. Share it with others who are on a similar path, and tell us in the comments about your most powerful synchrony experience. What signs has the universe sent you recently? Because perhaps, as you share your story, the universe is already sending you your next sign. Not all gateways to the soul are up in the sky. Some of the most powerful ones are hidden right inside the body, in the tendons, tissues, and bones. Among them, there's one that's often overlooked, but that ancient sages always recognized: the psoas muscle. What if I told you that this muscle, which connects your spine to your legs, is not only essential for movement, but also plays a key role in spiritual growth? Within its long, snake-like form lies a deep vibrational power that, when awakened, acts like an energy generator, lighting up the soul and unlocking inner doors that have stayed closed for centuries. The psoas is like a spiritual fuse. When it's tight or blocked, energy gets stuck. The body feels stiff and the heart closes off. But when it's relaxed, a sacred current rises up from the pelvis to the heart and beyond, touching the pineal gland, stirring memories and expanding awareness. It's the secret path of Kundalini, the hidden channel of creative energy. In this video, we'll lift the veil that's kept the psoas from being seen for what it truly is. We won't just talk about it as a muscle. We'll honor it as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, a key that unlocks the soul and aligns you with your divine design. We'll explore its origins through the lens of different cultures, how it connects with the lower chakras, and how unlocking its energy not only improves posture and health, but also reignites your dormant spiritual flame. You'll see how breathing, mindful movement, and awareness can turn it into a channel for energetic growth. This wisdom isn't new, it's ancient, but it's been buried under centuries of forgetfulness and the mechanical view of the body. Today, I invite you to remember what your soul already knows. Inside you is a muscle that not only supports your movement, but can guide you toward the light that's always been inside. Get ready to listen to your body as if it were a temple, and hear the psoas as its most sacred bell. From a modern standpoint, the body is often seen as a machine. Muscles contract, joints move, organs perform functions. But ancient traditions never saw it that way. To them, every part of the body was a symbol, a gateway, and a lesson. Within that view, the psoas was much more than just a muscle. It was the secret channel of sacred life force. In the wisdom traditions of Egypt, Greece, India, and Taoism, the body was seen as a mini-universe where the physical and spiritual were one. The psoas, though not called by that name, was linked to the vital energy channel running along the spine, known in the East as the sushumna, through which Kundalini energy rises. In many tantric teachings, this energy coils at the base of the spine, right where the psoas is anchored. Coincidence? The ancients would say. No. In Taoist alchemy, they spoke of a sleeping dragon in the lower belly that must awaken and rise, lighting up energy centers in the body, bringing health, wisdom, and power. The perineum, lower dantian, and deep muscles around there were trained with breathing, postures, sounds, and visualizations that worked the psoas area, even if they didn't call it by name, treating it as the vibrational base of the soul. Western esoteric traditions spoke of a lamp of God burning deep inside. In some Gnostic teachings, the soul was said to have three anchors: in the head, the heart, and a hidden fire at the root of the body, a clear nod to the lumbar plexus, the quiet home of the psoas. Modern science is only beginning to catch on. The psoas is called the muscle of the soul because of its connection to the autonomic nervous system, diaphragm, digestion, and posture. What scientists see as a physical discovery, ancient initiates knew as a spiritual truth. Because it's directly connected to the spine and diaphragm, the psoas helps regulate conscious breathing and access to meditative and ecstatic states. If the diaphragm is the bellows, the psoas is the fire's foundation. This wisdom wasn't just theory, it was lived experience. The ancients knew you can't just think energy, you have to feel it, live it, and awaken it. And in that awakening, the psoas wasn't just tissue, it was the gateway to the soul's sacred temple. To really get the power of the psoas, imagine the body not as a machine, but as a sacred structure, a cathedral of energy where every bone is a pillar, every organ an altar, and every muscle a divine circuit. The psoas, often overlooked in health talks, is actually one of the deepest muscles, running from the lower spine to the thigh bone, connecting the upper and lower body. But this connection is more than physical, it's alchemical. The psoas is the secret bridge between earth and heaven inside you. Why call it the soul's dynamo? Because a dynamo generates energy, a spinning force that transforms one type of power into another. When you consciously release the psoas, it turns grounded physical energy into rising spiritual energy. It helps you root yourself deeply so you can rise to higher states of awareness. When this muscle is relaxed, stretched, and balanced, vital energy, the serpentine kundalini or chi, flows freely from the base of the spine to higher centers like the heart and third eye. But when it's tight, weak, or ignored, it becomes an energy block. You might feel chronic fatigue, unexplained anxiety, spiritual disconnection, or tension around the solar plexus. Think of the psoas as a channel through which water from a well rises. If the channel is clear, the water flows and nourishes the fields. If it's blocked, everything dries up. The soul, trying to express itself through the body, needs that channel. It needs a body that's open and awake. This muscle also acts like a somatic memory, connected to the autonomic nervous system. The psoas holds repressed emotions, especially those tied to fear, survival, and insecurity. It's like a hidden journal where the body records what the mind won't face. That's why when you work consciously with the psoas through deep breathing, flowing movements, or body meditation, emotions come up, sometimes spontaneous tears, visions, or a deep sense of relief and reconnection. Plus, the psoas supports the energy center known as the root chakra, which is linked to feeling secure, having a sense of home inside, and connecting with the earth. When this muscle is activated with spiritual intention, it becomes the engine that sparks your inner light and sets the awakening process in motion. Here's the most powerful metaphor. The psoas is like a torch buried deep in the darkness of the body. It's not enough just to know it's there. You have to approach it, breathe with it, move it gently, honor it until it wakes up. When it does, it lights up not just the body, but ignites the whole soul from its roots. That's just the beginning. Next, we'll dive even deeper. What exactly happens when we activate this muscle as an energy center? How does that energy move? What does it transform, and where does it take us? When the psoas awakens with intention, it's more than releasing muscle tension. It's lighting an ancient column of inner fire. This fire doesn't burn, it transforms. Its heat melts away what's stuck, hidden, and denied, allowing spiritual awareness to rise from the deepest layers of the body. Imagine the psoas as a golden thread woven into the web that links your most instinctive roots with the heights of your intuition. Activating it isn't just a local event. It's an expansive force that affects every level of your being. It's like opening a vertical portal through which the soul can move freely, from the energetic womb to the crown. One of the most mysterious effects of working with the psoas is releasing ancestral patterns. It holds not just your emotions, but also the inherited memories of your lineage. When this muscle is spiritually activated, inherited burdens begin to clear. You might experience revealing dreams, nameless emotions, memories that aren't even yours, but you've carried within. It's like the blood of your ancestors speaks through your body, finally setting itself free. This energy activation also helps open the sacral chakra, svadhisthana, and its flow toward the solar plexus, manipura, and the heart, anahata. The rising inner fire creates a deep alchemy. Raw desire turns into creativity, instinct into wisdom, passion into vision. This is where many feel for the first time what some call the serpentine fire or the rise of divine energy. It's not a myth, it's a real experience. When body and soul align, the psoas becomes a spiritual tool that can elevate sexual energy into more subtle devotional forms. Yogis, alchemists, and mystics have sought this transformation since ancient times, not to suppress desire, but to turn it into offering, into art, into illumination. One key is focused breathing. Inhale deeply while focusing on the base of the spine, which stimulates the psoas from within. Exhale while guiding the energy upward, imagining a column of light piercing the chakras. Doing this practice with devotion strengthens the body-soul connection and expands your energetic field. Then something magical happens. When the psoas is open, the whole body becomes more receptive to intuition and healing. Synchronicities increase, anxiety fades, and you start living from a more authentic, centered place. It's like the soul can finally fully inhabit its temple. But be careful. Activating the psoas isn't a mechanical move. It's a dance with the invisible. It calls for respect, presence, and above all, deep listening. It's not about forcing or stretching, but about inviting, like speaking to a sleeping spirit waiting for your call. Ultimately, working with this muscle means learning to navigate the mystery of the body with the same reverence you'd have entering a cathedral. When the psoas is lit up, the whole body sings. And that song isn't just physical, it's the soul remembering who it is and where it comes from. In a time when we look for spiritual growth through books, courses, or retreats, we often forget something obvious. The soul also lives in the tissues. The psoas, as an ancient guardian, responds not only to what we do, but how we do it. So if you want to awaken your spiritual power, start by opening a respectful, loving dialogue with your body, not trying to control it. Here are some practices that benefit the physical body and open invisible pathways to your deepest essence. 1. Breathe from the root. Lie down or sit with your spine straight and bring your attention to the space between your navel and pelvis. As you inhale, picture energy entering through the base of your spine and flowing along the psoas like a river of light. As you exhale, feel that energy rising, cleansing each energy center. Take your time. This kind of breathing isn't about oxygen, it's about connecting with sacred presence. 2. Listen to your body. Don't force anything. Instead of doing mechanical psoas stretches, try conscious movements, slow pelvic circles, gentle twists, or free dance. Pay attention to what your body tells you. It might ask you to stop, to tremble, or even to cry. Sometimes releasing the psoas opens an emotional gate, and your only job is to hold yourself with love. 3. Activate with intention. The psoas is a spiritual muscle. Before any practice, close your eyes and say quietly to yourself, I open this channel to release what no longer serves me and allow light to rise within. This simple intention can completely change your experience of the body. 4. Use sound as vibration. Mantras, singing bowls, or even a deep vowel sound like Aum, focused on the pelvic area, can dissolve energy blocks in the psoas. Sound reaches places the mind can't, and when it resonates there, it's like the muscle remembers its true purpose, to serve the soul. 5. Care for your emotional life. The psoas tightens in response to chronic fear, excessive control, and disconnection from the earth. Building trust in life, walking barefoot, and approaching your emotions with humility are just as important as physical exercises. Your energy system can't thrive if your heart is at war with your feelings. Remember, this process isn't instant. Awakening the psoas as a spiritual dynamo is an initiation, not a quick fix. It takes devotion, listening, and steady practice. But every day you devote to this inner center, you're really dedicating yourself to your soul, because in the end, it's not your body that wakes the sowess. It's the radiant being inside you, waiting to be reborn into matter, this time with full awareness. Not all doors to the divine are up in the sky. Some are closer, quieter, more humble, right beneath your skin. The sowess, a muscle long ignored as just physical, is now returning to its rightful place as a sleeping torch that, once lit, reveals the path to the sacred. Through this journey, we see that the sowess isn't just about physical movement. It's the axis between earth and spirit, the invisible thread connecting your instinctive body with your awakened soul. When we consciously activate it, we release more than muscle tension. We release memories, transform emotions, and spark the rise of spiritual fire. Ancient traditions never separated body and spirit. The internal alchemists, yogis, and sacred dancers of the past knew the soul's light couldn't rise without first waking the roots that support it. In many cultures, the sowess was the starting point for that ascent. They revered it, nurtured it, and listened to it like an inner oracle. Today, in the noise of modern life, we're invited to reconnect with that wisdom, not as a trend, but as a genuine path to inner freedom. You don't need fancy tools, just the willingness to pause, feel, and inhabit the temple of flesh, where your spirit longs to express itself. Remember, when you activate your sowess with respect, intention, and love, you send a clear message to the universe. I'm ready to hold my light. I'm ready to root my soul in this world. And when that happens, life begins to shift. Not because things around you change, but because you become a clearer, stronger, more awake channel. Never underestimate the power of the subtle. Sometimes one conscious breath deep in your core can do more for your soul than 1,000 words. A single moment of presence in your center can spark a deep remembering that your body is no accident, but a chosen instrument for your soul's light. So I invite you with reverence to explore this mystery, to give time, presence, and love to your sowess, and watch how, little by little, your energy rises, your fears transform, and your spirit sings in the silence. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to join this community that honors the body as a sacred gateway. Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and share this video with those you feel are ready to remember. Because every awakened soul lights the way for others, and every honored body lifts the whole of humanity. Thank you.